Jeffrey!
Hello, Sasha!
Hi.
Welcome! I should say welcome me.
Welcome you. Listen, we have to just run right away because debates are
okay.
over.
But a quick plug. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a new telephone and I'm filming this with the telephone instead of the video camera, and it looks like this is going to be spectacular. Now, let's get to work.
Okay, so let's talk about the debate and all your concerns, and I have a message for all the Democrats, including you.
Okay, we'll let you go first,
No.
since I know I'm going to be battling you all afternoon.
So let's move it. First, it's ignorance and stupidity. Ignorance of Democrats and stupidity. And then, what do you want? First, tell me what's your impression about the debates, and what do you think about Hunter Biden? Or you want to talk about it? Give me some ideas, and I will talk about
For me personally, I think Hunter Biden is irrelevant. Why is it irrelevant? Because it's all, for the most part, nonsense. The one thing is that I'm sure that the only money that Biden himself has ever made anywhere from anyone is exactly what his salaries have been. And it's all disclosed in his tax returns. Okay. He's never paid more than, he only reports for the last 22 years about $150,000 a year in taxes. Did his son make money with these things? Did his son probably get the jobs because his father was vice president? Yes. Did Trump's daughter get all this business for millions of dollars because she's the daughter of Trump? Yes.
Let's move on.
Does Trump's idiot sons make all this kind of money?
Idiots,
yes.
Because
why? Because they're the sons of the president. And let's face it, the only thing that ever Trump is qualified for is maybe flipping hamburgers at McDonald's, but I'm not sure. But go ahead.
Okay, Jeff, so let me just give you an idea of what's going on with people. I'm talking to many people. I'm talking to people from different countries, different wage brackets, tax brackets and stuff like that. So about Trump, why do we want to elect Trump? Do you have any idea why do we want to elect Trump?
Massive stupidity.
Okay, so people think now I'm going to talk about Trump, good points and bad points. First of all, Trump is so powerful in how he presents himself and how he lies, but people trust in Trump. What is the best, not quality, but why people trust Trump and want him to be reelected?
Okay, this is where I disagree.
I did not say it in why.
No. I don't think it's because of the way that people trust Trump. I think people distrust Trump, but where Trump may have an advantage is that some people distrust Biden more.
But I ask the question, why people like Trump today, even today? Why do you think they want Trump to win?
I think it's a very, very small section of society.
Okay.
My opinion,
why? Not people. I say why.
Look, Trump's approval rating has never been higher.
I didn't ask.
3%.
Let's move. But why? Say, why or not?
Well, because of this fantasy that they think that he can actually make the economy better.
Bingo.
But it's exactly that.
Fantasy. Okay, hold on. So number one, it's not a fantasy. It's just after several years in Trump's being a president, he made appearance that the economy is doing great. And only people who don't understand the economics and they don't understand business, they think it is what it is. The problem with Biden, problem with Democrats, they don't know how to tell simple people like me, like you, Jeffrey, why Trump is not effective as an economy and he's rubbering. Go ahead.
You're calling me simple.
Oh, I apologize. Gosh. No. Okay.
Be nice.
Okay, so I had a conversation just yesterday. A person my friend of mine, he said but Trump created the unemployment rate was the lowest ever. Yes, but what did Trump do? And let me just backpedal a little bit. So Trump perceived good on economy. Say yes.
I agree. Perceived.
Perceived.
I'll go with
that's
that word.
Exactly perceived. So the other things, there's nothing else. People voting with their pockets. The other part, which is much smaller, he brings an perception, also perception of the self, how to say, not white supremacists, but value of somehow that we as a country, the best country in the world, not because we are the best country of the world because we are working, but because of default. Some kind of by default we are the best people, nationality, like something on the nationality, like we are the nation of greatest people.
Previously, I would agree with that.
No, but I think that we are privileged to be in United States, but it's not we are good people because we are United States. We are people. These people are the same people.
Again, I believe that was previously true.
So you're a bad person now? Are you like what's? You are the same person. It's about the society.
We are not perceived that way anymore. We were perceived that way when Trump got into office, but thanks to his wonderful incompetence, we are not perceived that way anymore.
Around the world.
Anywhere.
But around the world, yes, I agree with you. Many countries say like Trump is in blah blah blah, and America is ignorant. But what happens? Trump brings the perception of the fight for kind of like what do you say, like for I don't know how to say it, like the fight against all the countries that we have in fight for to make our country great, that we are the best people, and nobody's fighting us on that because it's pointless. But he makes that fight kind of like there is something is going on. So people.
But Trump, I know what you're saying, but Trump basically always perceives himself and what he does as spectacular, great, using superlative language in every other comment. But the truth of the matter is that right now, what he's changed, he's made Russia a very strong country now. He's made China probably the most strong country in the world at this point, because every time Trump screws up in some place, China takes over. China's taking
the same
over.
Like with Russia.
Yeah.
We've been in Syria. He said that we defeated Al Qaeda or whoever we defeated, and we retrieved from Syria. Hold on. Russia came to Syria, took over the Syria. Of course, there is no like any insurgent like from other like Al Qaeda or wherever the like bad guys like are. And Syria now like has gas, and they just found new like big wells of gas, natural gas, and oil, and Russia is now controlling the territory. So
Trump is giving the whole world away to every country except us.
Right.
This is supposed to make America great again. This is going to make America, into the richest third world country in the world.
It's no, we will be owning debts like Trump is. We are like going in debts, and this is like where on economy people don't understand. So the economy, Trump, what Trump did, and you have to just people who listen in us. You have to understand what Trump did. From one side, he pushed the Feds, Munich or wherever his name, like Federal Reserve, to keep the interest rate low. What it does, keeping interest low, it pops up the real estate market because you have lower interest rate, you can borrow more, you can pay more for the real estate, and then you have the real estate market booming and booming. Then from the other side, with a low interest rate from the Federal Reserve, the companies on the Wall Street, they can borrow cheap money. They can borrow like it's like 1-2% on equity lines. They can just buy so much and sell. It creates.
But I agree with you.
No. Hold on. I'm making point.
But they're buying and selling to each other, but not to the average American.
No. Let me just make a point. It will good for you. Trust me. The point is this: it creates companies borrowed so much money on their balance sheets. They owe so much money now, and it was
the word you're looking for. It creates the illusion.
Yeah, but they leverage a lot. It's not illusion. That's a real money. They borrowed real money, and that's why you had a boom in economy which was recovering because the business going by cycles. It has nothing to do with Obama creating jobs. It has nothing to do with Trump creating jobs. What it had to do with business after Obama inherited the economy, which was in a big recession, one of the worst recessions in our history. The business and economy start like recovering slowly. We don't need our economy to go like on all steams. And when Trump came, he should have just slowly taken over. We didn't need like to push interest down because the economy was growing. It didn't grow fast, but we don't need to grow the economy fast. So he pushed the interest rate down. Companies start borrowing more money so they can increase production. They increase production, and then people start like getting more money. That's why unemployment became lower, because companies borrowed money, start like production, but not in our country production. They started production in China because nothing changed inside of the country. Nothing. We didn't create jobs which manufacturing. We didn't bring the industry. It's illusion that something changed inside, because and I can talk later about.
Okay, for me the active word in everything you're saying is illusion, because
I agree.
Even though it might have been a semi-reality, what I disagree with is that most of this, most of the really higher amount of recovery was during the last year of the Obama-Biden administration. Then when Trump took over, he just basically had to continue the ride up, which is what he did. And then the other thing he did, which actually worked, is that he got rid of all regulations, good and
Jeff,
bad.
let me bring it home.
Let me finish
Okay.
though. Got rid of regulations, and by deregulating our economy, it caused like a little penicillin injection to the economy, but it also caused a catastrophe for the environment and everything else. That we can talk about later. That's more your cup of tea. The problem is that everything was going fine until dear Mr. COVID, and then everything changed.
Let me bring it back. So basically, what he did, he lowered the interest rate by creating the over real estate market in a bubble. It created the pricing like in a Wall Street, like stock exchanges. The company became in bubble because they start borrowing more money. It created more momentum that they PE ratio, price to earnings ratios, like became lower, so people expected that the company will be bigger and more profitable. So people start investing more. The stock market is big now. Real estate market is big now. So, and what Trump did in 2017 with the Republicans, they cut the taxes, bringing back to Bill Clinton when the booming economy. Bill Clinton, actually, with the Republican Congress, he managed to increase taxes. So the United States of America got money for like military, education, infrastructure. Now Trump cut the taxes. So we are not a beneficiary of that booming economy. We got in more deficit on a booming economy. Yeah. We got crushed. But
the beneficiary of this this illusionary booming economy went, as Biden and all the Democrats say, to the top percentage of billionaires in this country. Many of them all of a sudden have an enormous amount of money, especially from the recovery.
I will give a correction.
Yeah, no, but they were all able to buy back stocks. They were able to buy other things. In some cases, companies increased things, but for the most part, they subverted everything. When we're now getting stories about the people who got huge amounts of money from the PPP Act and things like that, using them. That there was one company that got $150,000, from the PPP, and what did they do with that money? They bought Trump billboards. And there's so many examples of this where people got enormous amounts of money because there was no regulation of the money that was going out, and they used them for the most ridiculous schemes.
Jeffrey, so the key is not just in PPP. The key, what you do with that tax cuts. The corporations, like we're talking about two different corporations and people. When corporations got tax cuts, it has nothing to do with their not bottom line. It has nothing to do with the production. They didn't get tax cut on the production, so they don't bring the manufacturing in the United States because there is no incentive. They got cuts on the taxes when they do production, everything is fine, they got profit. They don't care if they get profit, they do profit in Mexico or United States. There is no incentive after doing the tax cuts for the companies to bring the production into the United States.
Point made. Okay. Now, we only have so much time to get everything in. A lot has happened this week. We had this major debate, which was almost civilized. Thank God they had a mute button there so people could actually talk and be heard. Trump did a much better job than he's ever done. He still lied in his teeth through most of the debate. And Biden was, for the most part, extremely accurate and presented everything really quite concisely. He made one flub, if you could call it a flub, that was about the fracking. And but the fracking is not important anyway. I mean, they're going to make a big deal about it. You can be sure that Trump is going to rebroadcast that. Trump tried to make a big point with Hunter Biden, but Biden just put him 2 minutes later right in his place, and he canceled out the whole Hunter Biden thing with just a few comments. It was brilliant. But the other thing is that everybody is looking at the same thing, and that we're living in a world now, and just these last 3 days, the COVID-19 virus has gone through the roof. And most of the United States and most of this country is now more concerned about the COVID virus than the economy. The few people that are in Trump's pocket that think he's a genius for the economy, but when you look at the polls that came out, yes, Trump was ahead on the economy, but only by 3 to 5 points. And that's where Biden's but in every other category, Biden is up. Biden is up. He's up with women voters. He's up with Hispanic voters. He's up with black voters. He's up with white educated women. When you look at Trump, it's almost entirely uneducated white people.
And they're simple people. They need to people voting with their pockets.
But
this is Leonard Cohen.
But in the end, this election is still, no matter how you look at it, about the Electoral College, which for me is scandalously wrong. Because the Electoral College shouldn't be even a part of the election system in this country anymore. You have to realize that the last three Republican presidents won the election while losing the popular vote. It's crazy. It's insane. But there's the last thing. However, we can't do anything about it. For me, we have two criminals in the political process at this point in time. We have Trump, who basically, for me, is just simply not competent. The one thing that Trump is very, very competent at is screwing up every business deal he's ever done.
And let me just put on this. What happens, people don't realize that I was talking about economy, how Trump took the economy, it was heated economy, and he hit it again. But destroying our country. People don't understand that jobs he didn't create the jobs by bringing new technology or industry. He created the jobs by just giving money, our money. So people called Trump savior against socialism. And Biden, nobody from Democrats cannot just call on it, just say, listen, you took our money like a socialist and gave to Wall Street, gave to people. But a Republican would say, listen, we got like tax cuts, and we use our tax cuts like how we want it. We will prosper our economy with this money. But where, like, when I was going to finish, the companies on the Wall Street, they got tax cuts, they buy stocks back most of the time, many times. So that not 100% of the tax cut will go to our, to benefit our economy. At least 80% will go buying stocks back, developing different places that they companies developing in different countries. But with people, if we get less tax cuts, we buy this table, this chair, we buy gadgets, all done in China. So with tax cuts, we just making China and other country great again.
But the other point you have to make is that tax cuts is basically the tax cuts are basically in a certain way it's a tax on middle class people. Because all the tax cuts are going to rich people. More important is that
I disagree, but that's okay.
Yeah, but the other part of the equation is that all these the tariffs, the tariffs that he's put against all these countries is actually another tax on us, because these countries don't pay taxes on them. These countries don't lose one penny on the tariffs, because those tariffs. If a Chinese cell phone becomes more expensive to make in China because of the tariffs, it's passed on to the consumer. So we're paying for that also.
Of course. So basically, again, people thinking Trump is a great businessman, going to war, and this should be like somehow like addressed by the Congress. This is actually a war. When you go not like physical war, but you go in war with tariffs, you put in our country in danger, because we will end up like paying the tariffs on those gadgets, everything. Plus, we destroying the relationships, we destroying our economy. People don't understand. So number one, Trump is not a businessman. He's a socialist in a way, because he takes tax cuts. He creates tax cuts. So basically, he gives money to people, and people don't use it for our economy. It will be used 100% of tax cuts will be used for going to vacation, buying gadgets, and buying like all the stuff from different countries. Little bit of tax cuts will be used for our economy. Now, if, for example, Democrats will create free industry like healthcare industry, which I'm against, but they can argue, the Democrats will be arguing like, listen, we rather just give money to the doctors who are in United States, rather than just giving people tax cuts, which will benefit the China countries, other countries. So Biden and like
I understand where you're going, but now we have to talk about the election is literally in 11 days.
Yes,
11 days. Now, I know you believe that Trump still has a big shot at this.
Oh my God! Like
I believe that Trump doesn't have a path to win right now, and I'll tell you why. First of all,
tell them why.
Okay, well, I'm telling you all why. The main subject on the ballot in this election is COVID-19. No matter how you look at it, the main subject is COVID-19. And Trump is trying to disavow that it doesn't exist. You would think that since I saw you last, Trump got the virus and supposedly recovered from the virus, if he really had it. But the main thing is that he had the best doctors in the world and the best experimental drugs in the world. The average American who gets this virus will never have a chance to recover with the medications that Trump got.
This? Go ahead. The problem also, like people who I talk to, they just like love Trump, and Trump doesn't care about people. And Biden, he lost. Biden is not effective. He should have said like, listen, you have to, like, as a president, Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. As a
Just
president,
trying to look nice for the camera.
okay. As a president, Trump had to show wearing the mask, which is important. Show on his example. Even he doesn't like to wear the mask. Even he doesn't like to follow the rules. Show people as example. And when Trump got the virus, he came back and he said, "Listen, we have to live and be strong and go through this virus." I have so many friends. Like one particular friend, she is a nurse and she got COVID-19 and she recovered. And she was like, I would smack his face because this guy got 10 people. He got, right, like this guy meaning Trump, at the very first time he got antibodies. He got like steroids. He got all that, like 10 doctors.
And then the other thing, he got the steroids, and then he got on camera, ripped the mask off, and he felt like Superman.
Exactly.
Of course he felt like Superman. He was stoned on steroids.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Point is like he doesn't tell people, listen, it's dangerous. Listen, just do this.
Okay.
Do that. Hold on. And that's so to me it's so dramatic. It's bad, and people don't understand. You don't get that treatment. Chris Christie was like 7 days on the ventilator, like while Trump got the best medicine. So, many people have no chance to leave.
Okay,
Go ahead.
This is all. I understand what you're saying, but it's old news that everybody understands. What's more important right now, right today, I don't know if you know this, Italy is shutting down their country because Italy, which was really bad, then actually made a fantastic recovery, and now it's exploded again, and they're going to do everything right. They're going to shut down their whole country, quarantine the whole country, because until there's a vaccine, that is the only escape to control this virus. Period. We all understand that most people, or a high percentage of people, will recover from the virus. However, in this country, worldwide, we have 4% of the world's population, but we have over 20% of the world's infected people, and the deaths. The death toll in this country is crazy. And so Biden had some great comments in this last debate when Trump, when Trump said, "Yeah, but the virus is going to go away," and things like that. And Biden says, "The only thing we're learning to live with is death."
Right. Trump says like we learn to live with the virus.
Yeah.
And Biden says like we learn to die with it.
Live with death. And since the debate, there's another 8,000 dead people.
Yeah, but
5,000 dead people. Since the debate, it's not going to work. Right now, everything that Biden talks about is how to fix this virus situation. He talks about how we're going to do it, who's going to do it. Trump gets up and says, "Oh yes, we've got the military. We've got a general who's going to take care of everything." You don't even know who the general is. You don't know how he's going to do it because there's nothing there. It's nonsense.
Jeffrey, hold on.
Biden says everybody's going to. Biden has a plan exactly how this thing's going to be effective, and people are starting to respond to that.
People who I talk to, for Republicans, kind of for Trump mostly, they don't hear that message. They hear that Biden wants to trap us, to shut down the economy, shut down United States, and it will destroy us, which partially true. Hold on, I will make a point. The problem is this: United States of America is moving. You cannot shut down. Italy is mostly, it used to be semi-socialistic country. Most of the things like they come, they talk, there's no much industry like in United States.
I have to interrupt because the comparison is there, but it's wrong. Because Biden did not say he's going to shut down the country. Biden said that he's going to open the schools properly. Not just send people back to school. Biden said he's not going to shut down the country, but he's going to shut down the places that are where the pandemic is out of control. Those places will get shut
very
down.
Good. And Jeffrey,
and he's repeated that over and over again.
Jeffrey, I agree with you. And
Trump says we're just going to open up everything. Also, the most important thing, I was just listening to Fauci the other day. Fauci says there hasn't been a coronavirus meeting with Trump in 3 months now. He hasn't, the coronavirus.
Let me just
they didn't even get together. Now he's got this moron from California who's saying, "Yeah, we're going to do herd immunity." Herd immunity means herd death. Means he doesn't care how many people die. He figures, if we lose, and we have 350 million people in this country, we lose 200 million people. The other 150 million will be immune. That's insanity.
People from the Republican or Trump side, I should stop talking about Republican side, Trump side. They ignore, which you properly mentioned, and thank you for this, that Biden gets it. Actually, you see, like, people asking me, why you for Biden? I want, like, Trump to get out from the office and the Republican Party will rebuild itself, because there is no Republican Party. There are no like proposition for Republican Party. There is no health care for Republican Party. There is no budget, fixing budget deficit from the Republican Party. There is nothing. There is no climate change like investments from Republican Party. There is nothing from Republican Party.
The only thing the Republican Party has accomplished in almost 4 years of Trump is just one single thing. They've subverted the justice system. Now they put in so many justices that are completely incompetent. Now they're going to have a Supreme Court justice who's completely crazy.
Again, like this is like right now, like what?
And that could this Supreme Court justice, with everything that's going on, if they pull all the shenanigans that they're planning to pull for this election, that Supreme Court justice could possibly subvert the election, which is the only way I believe that Trump could get elected.
Let's see, because like again, it's up to Biden to make his message clear, and I don't know, like he needs to win on the economy. He has to say, he has to make a point to, like, I'm making point. Trump destroying our future. He runs the.
Yes, but he's doing that every day now. He did it in the debate. He explained exactly where the jobs are going to come from. He explained everything. Of course, Trump tried to change it into the Green New Deal, which is not true. But Biden explained where 18 million jobs are going to come from immediately. It has to do.
And what Trump said. Trump said, like, listen, this
Trump
is
Trump says, oh yeah, you're just like AOC, you're going to change the whole thing. But that's not what Biden said.
Right, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't say correctly. I just made the point that Trump destroyed the country. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, but what Biden said in debate is not the most important thing. Because, everybody, in a debate, you're on stage for an hour and a half. You have to try to make your points the best you can. Biden did a great job. Trump did sort of a job. I mean, most of what he said was nonsense, but at least he said
for you.
No, but he said it in a nicer tone of voice and things like that. He didn't interrupt. He almost seemed human. But the next day, he's back in public at these stupid rallies, doing everything as bad as he did before. And Biden gets on. I saw Biden today on television. I saw Kamala Harris today on television. Absolutely. I mean, they all trounce on Trump just like Trump trounces on Biden. But the difference is they talk about what they're going to do. Trump was on 60 Minutes. And the question that Trump was asked on 60 Minutes, what are you going to do for the next 4 years? This is a basic question. What are you going to do in your administration for the next 4 years? Trump blew his top, got so angry about that question, and walked off the set.
Right.
Because he doesn't have any plan for the next 4 years. But in the meantime, he made an ass of himself by walking off the set because he can't tell you what he's going to do in the next 4 minutes, like in the next 4 years.
My point, like what in the debate, that Biden lost an opportunity to put like the most important economy question to bed by accusing Trump of destroying our country. And because Trump Yeah, but you see what my
I,
point. Hold on. This
the
is the
point
point.
is there, but he did do that.
No,
He
hold on.
didn't do it as strong as you would have
Right.
liked, but he did do it.
The problem with this, when they go back to their bases, back to their like campaigns, they now Trump has so much weapon to say, look, I told him this, I told him that. Biden like seemed to be on 2 points, seems to be like flying in some place in the la la land.
Okay, you're correct about that, except there's one thing that you're not taking into account. Sure, Trump has a few weapons to do something with, but Biden has just as many weapons to go against Trump. There's a big difference between Biden and Trump right now. Biden has the money and Trump doesn't. And Trump is a cheap bastard. He will not do anything unless he can do it for free. Why do you think he agreed to do this debate? This debate was a huge risk for Trump. The only reason that Trump did this debate is because he knew he can go in front of 60 million people and not have to pay for it.
Okay,
That's what the whole debate was
yes,
about.
and it was the opportunity for Biden to knock him out.
And he did.
For in your opinion.
At worst, it was a tie.
Yeah, but again, it was the opportunity now for Trump to spin the debate. Biden on a debate, he said there was a question, why do you support like minimum wage or something minimum wage? Biden said like minimum wage good for small businesses. On a debate, Biden was asked about minimum wage, how it's gonna affect the small businesses, and Biden says like not small businesses. He says something about minimum wage, and Biden says it's important for small businesses to have a minimum wage, which is totally crazy what he says.
Okay, I remember the comments exactly. Here's what Trump said. Trump said that
Trump or Biden?
Both of them. Biden said the minimum wage should be $15 an hour.
Yeah.
All over the country, which is actually not, that doesn't even come close to the inflation rate. Simply put. Trump tried to say, no, minimum wage should be different. It shouldn't be the same in California as it is in Alabama.
Which is
Trump was trying to say that states should provide minimum wage.
I think that's true.
And almost every economist will tell you no. If you want to have, there should be a minimum wage because that will be good for companies.
No, that won't be.
No, but they try to say no, but that's not true. Because if companies paid minimum wage, a decent minimum wage to everybody, that means that people wouldn't have to go on unemployment. They would have enough money to ignite the economy and spend money and pay mortgages, pay things like that. And but without that, they can't
How
survive.
can you go to McDonald's and buy a burger for $3 if you have $15 minimum wage? Plus, there is pay vacation, pay insurance, pay this, pay that. It could be $30 an hour after all it's done. You cannot buy McDonald's. You cannot go all that small businesses will just gone.
They're gone now.
Okay.
They're gone now. 40% of small businesses that have folded are gone forever.
Okay.
The restaurant industry is a disaster. My industry, the performance industry, is a disaster. Is beyond a disaster. Luckily, one side of my business is investment quality instruments. Those will always be good because people are looking for safe sanctuaries to put their money. And to buy a great violin is a safe place to go because the prices of rare, great instruments and art and antiques and things like that never go down. That's a safe haven in any economy. However, the airline industry is a disaster. And then how many recovery things can we do for the airline industry? And the healthcare industry, all this nonsense about Obamacare, they're going to have no choice. Obamacare has to continue existing because they already have the pre-existing condition things. If the Trump group of people get rid of Obamacare, then there's going to be a health crisis in this country beyond imagination because everybody who got the virus is no longer covered, and they have no. And Trump said, "Oh yeah, but I'm going to sign an executive order," which he did before. It's not worth the paper it's printed on.
Okay, so basically, number one, about ignorance and stupidity about like what is going on. For it, it's again the same situation what happened 4 years ago. The Democrats last time they had the Hillary Clinton, who is perceived to be fake, perceived to be criminal with the emails and stuff like that. They were pushing that she's supposed to be in jail. 4 years later, the same thing. Now, Trump will bring Hunter Biden issue as Biden, oldest one, he's supposed to be in jail. I think they will start going at this again.
The only difference is that it won't work.
Because
because first of all, there's two huge differences here.
I agree.
The biggest difference is that Hunter Biden is not, Hunter Biden is the son of Joe Biden. Hillary Clinton was the damn candidate. So if you go after your candidate, the candidate is but Joe Biden, it cannot rub off. Also, most of it's nonsense. And even if Hunter Biden made millions because his father was vice president, who cares? It's a tiny, tiny, tiny small percentage compared to what the
Who cares? Ignorance.
Compared to what the Trump kids are getting.
Ignorance.
So if Biden starts saying, "Oh yeah, you want to talk about Hunter? Let's talk about Ivanka. Let's talk about Don Jr. Let's talk about Herrick." They cannot win on that argument. And the other person who actually has brought up this whole Hunter Biden thing is now the star of the next Borat film.
Okay, so the number one, this guy who was a partner of Hunter Biden in a business, he dying directly to Biden. He is testifying that Biden was a part of the deal. He testified. Go ahead.
Yes, but the point is that he's this has not been proven. Has not been proven.
But emails weren't proven too.
Yeah, but the point is, it's not been. This is all.
Exactly 4 years ago.
But this is all. Many people believe that this is all Russian disinformation. It doesn't matter because it's Hunter Biden.
Again, ignorance. It's not Hunter Biden.
But it's Hunter Biden. It's not Biden himself. Biden didn't earn one penny from any of this.
You didn't hear the conference of this guy.
Yes, I did. I read the whole thing.
So he said, "I was this. Joe Biden was a part of all dealings." And
hearsay.
No, he talks. He will be testifying. He said, "I have 3 phones to prove what I'm saying."
Yes, but it's hearsay, and a phone is not evidence.
You don't know what evidence.
No, an email and things like that. All these things. Anybody can do that. I can sit there. I can create emails by the car,
Jeffrey,
and they'll think they came from you.
What is my point, Jeffrey?
Recordings. If you have recordings of Biden speaking on the phone saying, "I got this and I got that," and it's Biden talking, yeah, that's serious.
Okay.
But anything electronically is nonsense.
The point is not in this. Hillary Clinton is not in jail. There is nothing against her. Like, it's always something brewing. But they made her look as a criminal.
Okay, I understand.
The same thing.
Yeah, no, but it's not the same thing because of one thing.
What one thing?
It's Hunter Biden, not Joe Biden. It was Hillary Clinton. It was Hillary Clinton against Trump.
Yes.
It's Joe Biden against Trump. Hunter Biden is not running against Trump.
Can I just say and you respond? Yesterday or day before yesterday, the guy I don't even remember his name. He says, "It's Joe Biden standing behind everything. This is directly Joe Biden." I talked to Joe Biden. He's a big man on all emails. I have proof evidence against Joe Biden.
Nobody has seen this proof yet.
Right. But nobody.
It's BS.
Right. How it's different?
It's just
how it's different from the BS from emails?
It's not proven. Tell something, to make a big statement on the air saying, "I've got this and I've got this." It's nonsense if there's nothing really there.
How it's different from emails?
Because it's Joe Biden and not. I mean, it's Hunter Biden and not Joe Biden. It's not important. The main thing now is that Joe Biden has a way to get us out of this Corona mess. Joe Biden, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused now. Joe Biden has a way to get us out of the whole economic mess. Joe Biden has a way to get us out of the energy mess. Joe Biden has a way in detail, how to get us out of the climate crisis, which is something that's important to you. I couldn't believe, even in the last debate, and also in the when they did the town halls last week, you saw Joe Biden going into absolute detail. I was so surprised because I didn't think he could do this. I didn't expect him to go into huge detail. The only person I knew in the past who could talk about different subjects in that kind of detail was Bill Clinton. Or possibly Obama, but definitely Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton has
Obama
has the
didn't
mind
have
like
substance.
No, but Bill Clinton had the mind like an encyclopedia.
I agree.
Biden was just like that last week. He talked about how he knows exactly what has to be done to prevent the economy from putting what's the gas into the atmosphere?
CO2,
No,
carbon dioxide. Methane, carbon
methane.
dioxide.
He has the way to stop the methane things, and he has a complete plan to how to make the world recover from this climate crisis. Because I agree, the climate crisis is going to be as bad as this virus is. It's going to be nothing compared to what the climate crisis is going to be done. Do you realize that this year we had so many bad hurricanes, serious hurricanes, that we went through the list of hurricanes? They're using Roman numerals now because they run out of names. Okay. This is the first time in something like 30 years.
Let me just say something like this.
Fires here. But now, yesterday, the fire just jumped over Colorado into another state now. Yeah.
The point is this: in climate change, this is not a country. We cannot resolve climate change as a country. We have to provide leadership and a clear understanding of what we are doing. Changing only our country's situation will damage our country. This is number one. Biden doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand many things. He just say stuff.
That's not what he said. He said it has to be a worldwide endeavor.
Right.
He agrees with you. We can't do it alone.
Agree.
Everything, but he wants to get the whole world mobilized, and he went into detail about that. The world mobilized to do something about this. What does Trump want to do? He says there's no such thing as climate change.
Yeah. So I think so. Like my 2 points. Like number one, ignorance. If I would be like within Democrats, I wouldn't put Biden in the election. And we talked about half a year ago. I said to you, or maybe a year ago, whenever not a year, but whenever they put Biden like or to be like a head of the Democratic Party, then I said like it's gonna be the same ignorance like with Hillary Clinton, and I said about Hunter Biden. You said no worries about that. It's going like I'm gonna think that.
Okay, that's 1 point.
1 point. Now
I don't agree, of course.
Okay,
because first of all, I think that Biden is much more centrist than Hillary Clinton.
But
I think that Biden is much more.
But it doesn't matter. Like ignorance is about that. Democratic Party knows that that Biden has an issue like Hillary Clinton.
So who else could have run?
Amy Gorbachev.
Who?
Amy Gorbachev.
Klobuchar.
Yeah. She's got like she's been in Congress for a long time. She knows like
Not
both sides.
She's not that old.
She doesn't have to be old to like she's 58 I think years old or something.
Yeah, but Trump would have destroyed her.
I don't.
My opinion.
Could be, but at least she doesn't. She's not in prison. She didn't do like she's not under investigation of FBI like Hillary Clinton. She doesn't have a son who is potentially will be under investigation of FBI. So it's called ignorance, putting somebody who is damaged. I think Biden is damaged with the perception that he is dealing with the different countries through his son, and that's what Trump will explore. And idiotic stuff, I said like 2 things: ignorance and idiocracy. Idiotic part of this, Democrats already went through this last election. Now the same deja vu again. They're gonna go and Trump will do the same thing what he did last 4 years.
Okay, he can try, but there's a huge difference.
Okay.
And the main difference is that, when Trump was running against Hillary Clinton, he had no track record. That's a huge thing. He had no track record. We didn't know what Trump was going to be. He was a perfect alternative against Hillary Clinton because everybody had an idea who Hillary Clinton was and what she was going to do. Boy, do we miss her now. But anyway,
I think she's good. She could be good.
She would have been one of the most knowledgeable, one of the most experienced presidents in the history of the country. However, but the thing is that, but like you said, she was damaged goods. The difference is that Joe Biden is not damaged goods, but Trump is huge damaged goods. And you cannot go through 4 years of lying, 4 years of killing people. As far as I'm concerned, he should go to jail for second-degree murder because at least 100,000 people died for no reason. Everything he did for this pandemic has been beyond catastrophic. Everything he did for the economy now, since COVID, is beyond catastrophic. And everybody, and right now, we're in such a situation. Half this country is, it's like 30% unemployment. 30% unemployment. That's a huge amount.
Not Trump's fault. So
yes, it is. It's a fault of the COVID, but the reaction to COVID is completely and utterly Trump's fault, and he should. And I think that's what's going to kill him in this election.
We will see. So number one, let's see how he's gonna fare with Biden. I think we kind of finished with the debate.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. But I agree. It's just like I was driving here today. I was on Pacific Coast Highway coming from
Marina Del Rey.
No, not coming from Marina Del Rey. But this morning, and there was like one block of Trump supporters out there, of course, without masks or anything else. You go down one more block, and there was a whole block of Biden supporters all wearing masks and things like that. And the big difference is that the appearance of all the people on the Biden side is exactly correct. Everybody's wearing masks. Everybody's social distancing. Everything is showing that they are the perfect example of how we might be able to beat this pandemic. And everything about Trump is exactly the opposite of what you could do to beat this virus. And that is, unfortunately, it's going to get worse between now and 10 days from now. The other side of the coin is you have to realize 50 million people have already voted.
That's I wanted to say.
That's very important.
And this could be saving Trump, not Trump, Biden, saving from any problems like that Trump will create with Hunter Biden. Not most of the people, but big number of people already voted.
Well, you have to realize that there's 350 million people in this country.
But how many voted?
And 50 million have voted. How many people do they expect will vote in the election? 150?
No, I don't think so. Maybe 100.
No,
maybe.
I think it's going to be bigger. I think it could be close to 150 million.
How many in total? Usually, how many?
Yeah, they're lucky if they get 90 million out of 300.
That's what I'm saying.
So won't happen this time.
So you think it will be bigger?
So it's already blowing through all the numbers.
But it will help much to Biden because if people will change their mind because of the negative.
We're going to have to see in the really dangerous states. But right now, Biden is killing him in so many of the contested states where Democrats have never. And the other thing, it looks like the Democrats are probably going to take the Senate.
That's what worried me because I don't want Democrats to run the country.
I want the Democrats. The Democrats have to take the Senate, if for no other reason, to get that goddamn Mitch McConnell out of the Senate. He is destroying, because as bad as Trump is, Mitch McConnell is the worst thing that's happened to the United States in 150 years.
I agree with this. My point
so
is
he has to go, because otherwise it doesn't matter if Biden's president. He won't be able to do a damn thing.
But that's what I like about this. I want them if they agree on something, it will be good.
They can't, but you have to realize they've agreed on something. The Congress of the United States has, they passed the bills that will do for so many different things. They passed the bills by huge majorities, and then it went to the Senate.
Hold on.
Let me finish. Okay. Then it went to the Senate, and then Mitch McConnell says, sticks it on the floor. there's going to be no vote. You know, normally when you get such a majority in the House, you put it in the Senate. People say up or down. If the whole Senate votes against it, fine. Then it has a deserved die. But he doesn't let it come up. That's why nothing gets done.
Okay,
why do you think when Obama ended, why he couldn't get a Supreme Justice through? Because Mitch McConnell blocked it, and then the Democrats did a very, very bad thing because they voted to end the debate period in the Senate. I forgot what it's called. I just got stupid. But anyway, by getting rid of that means they couldn't stall. If that law would still be in effect, there's no way this Supreme Court
Let
justice
me
could
just say
become
something I think important. I think our country will be better off when we will have a balance with the Congress and the presidents, and Supreme Court will be not even like in either party. So we need the balance in power for our country. If we had like Obama, when Obama came with Obamacare, if we had like Republicans, Obamacare never would come to the play. If we had like Democrats,
but you had Republicans, and it came into play anyway.
Maybe, but no. That they started like it was full Democrats, the full Congress, both sides. There was like it was Democratic. So let me just. And then when Trump made that tax cut, it was fully Republicans. Everything was Republicans.
Everything for the last 3 years.
Right. But my point
has been totally partisan.
Hold on.
Complete Democrats voting for one thing, complete Republicans.
But that's
voting
my
for something
point.
else. This country doesn't work like that.
Exactly, and did make problems for our country. So my point is like we need the balance. If the president is Republican, I want the Congress to be Democratic. If the vice versa.
Yeah, but talk about the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court
should be.
It can't be, because if this woman gets into the Supreme
Court,
it
will be
we're
a problem.
In huge trouble.
But
right now, the whole Justice Department, he put in 60 or so justices already. Most of them completely incompetent. Not one black, not one Hispanic. Every single justice white.
Okay, but so like if you're black, you right away competent, or like
no, but there was
you just said it.
No, but there were so many competent people to become in the appellate courts and things like that. No one got it. So now and you have to realize these are lifetime appointments, which means that most of those appointments were there from the Obama administration. Why didn't Obama fill all those positions?
Why? Because of Congress.
No, because they didn't fill those positions because, again, Mitch McConnell took all the people that he nominated, shoved them on the floor, no votes.
That's what they said, Congress.
And then that's not Congress, that's the
Senate.
Yeah, okay. Congress is actually doing quite well. They're coming up with good stuff.
The House?
No, the Senate. That's Congress.
Right.
The House is fine. It's the Senate that's totally screwed up.
Okay.
When you got people like Lindsey Graham.
Just don't kill me. I agree.
I hope Lindsey Graham is gone. They have a good person running against them. But I really believe at this point, I think that it's looking like the Democrats could take the Senate by 2 votes.
Okay, so now
So in the meantime.
Okay, so I think that Biden potentially will win. I hope, and I hope the Congress will be Republican. I hope that the country will regenerate Republicans party with the agenda, with some solutions. But in the meantime, Biden is the better candidate for the country, because if we just vote again for Trump will just. Again, he's going to run like no gathering tax. Again, running the country like down. So I don't think
Trump is he just wants to be there for one reason. In my opinion, one reason alone: to stay out of jail. but no, because at least they can't go after him while he's president.
We will see.
And then even if I personally think that if he loses the election, my prediction. If Trump loses the election and then can't subvert the election at the last minute, which you can be sure bet your bottom dollar he's going to try to do that. Hopefully, we won't have a civil war. But but he's going to try to subvert the election. If he loses before January 20th, when Biden takes over, he will resign. Pence will pardon him if he doesn't try to pardon himself,
Yeah.
which I'm sure he's going to try anyway. I guarantee it. He'll try to pardon himself, or he will resign. But that's going to save his ass federally. But it won't save him in New York. It won't save him in all
right.
the
So what's
places
the
that are
point
to
to resign then?
Huh?
Because to be pardoned, you
To stay out of prison.
Yeah, but to be pardoned, you have to be charged.
He's already charged.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, he's already. Are you kidding?
I didn't know.
No, Cyrus Vance. They are. You have to realize that his lawyer went to jail, and then there was a conspirator number one was also charged.
Okay,
and that's actually
who's going to win the
But that's
election?
in the state.
Who's going to win the election?
I believe Trump will. I believe. No! No! Good. No, I believe Biden will win. I just hope he wins by a landslide, because the only thing that's going to keep us out of a civil war